Sorry, my microphone was off. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this live stream. So we're going to take a look at some more phrases from my 251 system. For the people that are just joining this series of streams for the first time, I made two earlier streams about so-called Van Hemert System 2.0. It's basically a selection of carefully selected 251 phrases, kind of bebopy 251 phrases that I categorized according to my fretboard system. And very quickly, because I got some questions, what is it again? It's basically that I divide the neck into positions per chord. So every major chord has 3 positions, and every minor chord, or every major triad, every minor triad, and every dominant chord has 4 positions. So for a major triad, for example, G major, this is the first position, because I'm with my first finger on the root, on the high or low E string, and I can shift that position fret up or fret down. That would be the first position of G. Then the third position with my first finger on the third, of course, and again it's fluid. And then the 5th position. So there's no second or fourth, it's just first, third, 5th. And every phrase I learn, I place in that position, right? If it's a phrase for G major, I would check out to see where it's most convenient to play, and then I remember the fingerings and the picking motions. So when I have to improvise on the chord in G, I have 3 starting positions to start, and it's very easy to connect everything because, well, everything is in the same place. And then for minor chords, same, first, third, 5th, and for major, for dominant chord would be first, third, 5th, 7th position. That would be a phrase for 7th position G7, right? Or so you can see how that works. So this 251 system basically did that, right? So I took all those 251s that I collected throughout the years, and I always try to put them according to my fretboard system. So we're now doing 251s in C, and we're doing our second finger. So it's you can call it, I call it now for this system, call it A2, because I'm on the A string, and I'm third position A2 because I'm in the third position of D minor, which would be an F, but this time I'm thinking the positions on the A string. So sometimes I switch strings, and for 251s I've noticed that it's very handy to start my phrases from the A string, for example. So now I'm in the third position of D minor, which is an F, and again it's fluid, so all these phrases start with my second finger on the F. Maybe it's a little bit confusing, but I will link a link to the full explanation of the system in the description. Okay, so we did the first 10 phrases, and we have 6 phrases left in this position, so I want to go through all 6, and then next time we can start in another position. So let me get a tab. And that's the first phrase, and it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. This is a very easy phrase to play. Everything is easy, the fingerings, the picking. And it's a very good phrase to get a good string feel because it's just so easy to pick. So as usual, I demonstrate the phrase on Coquette because that is not so fast, and I have a backing track that I made myself, so I won't get into problems with copyright. Let me see how loud it is. Oh, it's not on. Okay. Maybe a little bit louder. Okay, let's see, this is good volume. Okay, here we go. So the phrase in D, of course, I have to be in the third position of E minor now, which is here. The phrase will sound like this: 3, 4. Okay, here we go. in G. So I made a little mistake, but then I still played the phrase. So that just shows you that you can be early and late with all these phrases. Maybe I haven't stressed that enough, but you can always be too early or too late with these phrases. You don't have to play it exactly like it's written here. Okay, first phrase, nothing particularly difficult about it. And let's go to the next one. So that would be phrase 12. And by the way, of course, for my patrons, all these phrases will be downloadable. The tab will be downloadable right after the stream ends, 10 minutes after. So you can check that out. If you're not a patron of mine, you could check out the description. And if you're a patron, download them. The next phrase sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. There's a tricky thing in this one, that you have to play the A flat on the B string on the same fret that you just played with your second finger. So you get this little awkward jump. You have to practice that slowly. But it's not that difficult. Okay, let's play that in Coquette, and then of course in D. I might shift it a little bit in time to show you that you can be too early or too late with it. So for instance, I was much too early one time, right? And then in the bridge I was much too late. You get this A minor, and I started on beat 3 or something. But those things are just nice because it creates some harmonic tension that you get by being too late or too early. Okay, sorry, my hay fever is going crazy. I need to blow my nose, mute the microphone. This year is particularly bad here for my hay fever. I don't know what it is, but it's getting less though. So let's go to my phrase number 13. So this one is kind of different in the sense that it doesn't actually start on the A string. It starts on the D string. Because it starts like, right, it still has my second finger on the third of D minor, but I left it like this. But if you wanna, of course you could just start on the D string by changing the first two notes, like, also sounds great, but like it's written here, it says, it sounds like this, 3, 4. That's a George Benson phrase, if I'm not mistaken. If I would start like this, so that would fit better with all the other phrases. Doesn't change anything about what makes the phrase great. So you can do both variations. Of course, in the end, you want to be free with the phrases in the sense that you can always change a little bit the beginning and the end. You could play some notes before it, or you could be very chromatic. For instance, if I would do, maybe I would do. Right, or right, all those beginnings, they are free to experiment and do whatever you want. See what sounds nice, just use your ears. Okay, one more time, 3, 4. If you watched my stream yesterday about timing, then you know that it's very important to time those slides correctly. So I go into detail in the stream. So watch the stream that I made yesterday called, what is it called again? I don't know, some clickbait title about timing. But the thumbnail has me strapped to a metronome, so you can't miss it. So in D, okay, let me play that on Coquette. In G, it's a very pretty phrase. Okay, we'll go to number 14, I think. I'm not sure, but the next one. There we go. Oh, this is a really cool one. This has a triplet. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I like to play a ghost note, so on the C, it's one that I play all the time. It's a very swinging one, great. So in D, also has this augmented sound in it. That's a great sound. Okay, let me play it on Coquette. Oh, that's the previous one, sorry. Yeah, good phrase. That was my hay fever kicking in again. Okay, next phrase. I think 2 more, right? Oh, this is a very easy one, I think, to play. I am thinking. Let me see. 1, 2. Oh yeah. 1, 2. Sounds like a Sonny Rollins phrase to me. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. So in D, 1, 2, 3. So in G, right? There's the third of A minor. Okay, that's an easy one to play. Very nice. Let's do that. This is a good one to experiment with the rhythms. Let's try that. Yeah, some things were nicer than other things, but in the end, that's the point, right? You first practice this phrase as is, and then you start experimenting with them. Okay, and then the last phrase for this position, I think, and then yeah, that's the last phrase because then we get another position. Okay, last phrase. I think that's a tricky one. Oh no, it's not gone too far. Oh. That's it. Does it fit in the screen? Yeah. Let me see. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see on the C, we're still on G7. So this phrase has this being too late with the 1 chord in it. Seems like a real saxophone phrase. I don't know. It's not Sonny Rollins. I'm not sure. I mean, I've collected these phrases over the years, so. But for bebop lines, I usually go to saxophone players or trumpet players. People like Charlie Parker, Cannibal Adderley, Clifford Brown, people like that. Okay, let's play this in D. 1, 2, 3, 4. it with a backing track. Almost. Nice little phrase, isn't it? So these were the phrases for position 3A2. So the third of the 2 chord with the second finger on the A string. And then next time we're gonna start with the next position. But for this video, this was it. So time to go to some questions, because I can see there's some questions. So let me check the questions on my phone. That's the easiest. By the way, if you to see these questions, I have to actually go to my phone. But if you ever want an immediate answer, really the way to do it is with the super chat, because I get a message blinking on my screen and then I will react to it if you don't want to wait. Hi Marcus. Great stuff, I like it. Hey, I know you're not talking about exactly this, but I have watched your and... Oh, let me make it a little bit brighter. Okay. I've watched your and Dani Rabiri's fits about gypsy picking. I can't do it. Been hybrid picking for 20 years. Any hidden practice advice? Well, you don't have to do it. That's first of all, right? If you can make the guitar sound good with hybrid picking, there's no need. But if you're not getting the sound that you want and you want a surefire way, of course, that would be gypsy jazz or gypsy picking. I made many videos about it. I go to the live stream I did 2 days ago with the exercise to build technique, and then it's not about that exercise, but then check the description of that video because it links to a bunch of videos about technique. And the first one I made, a Q&A with Christian number 2, which is really old. I think 2015. I was playing guitar back then for 4 years, but I was already very clear about how to practice technique, and I was still in the process of getting really fast with it. So it's interesting to see, because now I'm very comfortable with all the gypsy jazz picking and the fast triplets, not a problem. But the detailed instructions I present in that video will probably be very helpful, and also give some beginner exercises. So I would start with that, and then every day 20 minutes of technique practice, and then just accept that it will take 2 to 3 years to get to a decent speed. That's just the way it is. Do it every day for 20 minutes. Maybe after half a year of doing those beginner exercises, you could switch to more advanced exercises. For example, the exercise I was playing in that live stream 3 days ago, it's called, that's another ridiculous title, I don't know. It's called something like exercise to build your technique to an incredible level, something like that. Okay, I have a question about picking as well. I have a problem floating my wrist. I try not to anchor at up tempos. My wrist starts bobbing up. Well, my wrist is, well, you could say my wrist is floating, but I am anchoring on the guitar with these two fingers, my ring and pinky. They are bent like this on top of the guitar, and they're not fixed though. They move, right? And that's the way that many people play. Stocholo, Adrien Monniard, Birelli, Angelo de Bar. Angelo de Bar even has 3 on it. Joshua, and when Joshua plays on the E string, his fingers actually go under the strings like this. So it's not floating. Of course, you can float. People that float and play great are Moses Rosenberg and Gonzalo Bergara. But you don't have to. So I like touching the guitar because I like the contact here. So you don't have to not anchor. Cool. So those are the questions I see for now. I will be back soon with new phrases. So the plan is to alternate between doing the phrases from my system and other videos. So the next video probably will be something else, and then I will be back with the continuation of this Van Hemert System 2.0. And the plan is that when I finish all these streams about Van Hemert System, it will take a while because I'm doing 5-6 phrases per stream, and there's many phrases. Then I will compile everything in one neat package. I will make a video in which I play through all the phrases one after the other without talking. And that will be for sale as a thing that you can buy. Of course, you don't have to because you have the streams. But if you want everything packaged together with a nice video, which won't be available otherwise, then it will be for sale. I don't know how much, but I do know that it will be cheaper for my patrons, of course. But if you're a patron, please go to my Patreon in 10 minutes after the stream, and you will be able to download these phrases. Okay, then I'm gonna sign out. I see some other comments. Let me see. Anchoring always means less acoustic volume, but for some runs it's almost unavoidable. I don't know. I know maybe that it is not an anchor. It is touching the guitar for sure, but I know people that play very loud that do that, like Stocholo, and so I like this. But you can float too if you want. I just don't like that floating feeling. What I don't do though is put my pinky like this, or my wrist like that, and then be stationary. My hand has to move, but I am brushing the top of the guitar. Also, if you brush the top of the guitar, realize that you will stop the pick from hitting the top, because your finger will be a natural barrier. A lot of people that don't do that will actually damage the top of the guitar by hitting it constantly with the pick. Then thank you all, and I will see you in the next stream. Bye.